point is we live at a super safe time. Despite what the news tells you, the prevalence of risk in our day-to-day life is so low compared to what it has been historically. You kind of, the instinct for managing risk property is dulled, and you see some very broad changes in how people deal with risk. And I'll give you a couple of examples. We tend to overestimate the danger of an exotic risk and underestimate the danger of a kind of everyday risk. And so for me on a wilderness rafting trip, people are thinking about grizzly bears all the time. Grizzly this, grizzly that. They never think about the danger that the weather plays because they're just completely used to weather. By 2 orders of magnitude, there are more incidents weather-related than are bear-related on northern rafting trips. You see the same thing with kind of Ebola or HN1, H1N1, or whatever it is. We overplay those exotic risks. We tend to underplay slow change. When an environment changes slowly versus quickly, I'll give you an example of rafting. If, at any given time, there's probably 300 people on the Grand Canyon. If the water went from medium level to almost flood level within the space of 20 minutes, every party would pull off the river. If it went from medium level to flood level over the space of 3 or 4 days, I bet you over half those parties would still be on the river because it had come so incrementally, that change. So there's a bunch of kind of sweeping ways in which we deal with change differently. I'm going to show you the ones that I think most affect how I see things in the wilderness. Now, we live in a really dangerous time. There's tons of things that can get us, despite what I said about it being we're warned of this all over the place, what can kind of nip us. These are stairs in Kimberley, BC, so this is where I live. And I was running down these about a few weeks ago, and this sign appeared at the bottom. And so thank goodness, I'd been warned about the dangers that could happen on these stairs. I wondered, why the town fathers hadn't given a longer list, maybe saying no texting while you're on the stairs, no drinking coffee while you're on the stairs. Coffee comes with its own set of warnings though now. And and this always seems ironic to me. You order coffee because it's hot. If you got a coffee that was cold, you would return it. So why do you need to be warned that it's going to be hot? So I think if you were an alien and you came to our planet and kind of observed this going on, you think this society is so focused on reducing risk. They're doing this incredible job of making sure nothing happens. And then you drive down the Deerfoot and see this. And you'd think, wow, we have this completely asymmetric relationship with risk and a kind of smearing understanding of how to manage it and deal with it and what we should really be thinking about. So when I see people come into the adventure environment or the wilderness environment, if I was going to paint with the broadest stroke and in the most generalization and kind of break this down into how they evaluate risk, and this is over the course of an expedition. So you have the planning stage and then you have the implementation. This is the same as a project. This is the same as anything you're trying to change or do or whatever, whether it's at work or at home. In the wilderness, you have that whole preparation. What can we do? What are we capable of? What route are we going to do? And then the rubber hits the pavement and it's operational, logistical implementation of it. Super broad stroke in the planning phase. Everyone I see is way too timid. They completely underestimate what they're capable of doing. And I'm not just talking about their physical capabilities, I'm talking about risk here. What risks they could safely manage. They'll look at a situation, say can't do it, and walk away from it and think that there's not a safe way through that. As soon as you go to the implementation, the most bizarre thing happens. These people who have been timid and nervous about going on this trip, coming up north, going rafting, whatever it is, they go all in. They take every chip they have and just slide it out into the table.